So let's start off. Let's start off with the Sea of Thieves game preview. Is what we're going to start off with. Okay, this is a 20-minute thing, so let's get it started.
Thieves 2024 preview event, where we're going to give you your first look at some of the exciting features coming to Sea of Thieves this year. We're going to share information around what's coming in Seasons 12 and 13, as well as even further into the future, with a sneak peek behind the curtain on Season 14. So grab a grog and get ready for...
Yeah, I probably will, Mo. I probably will.
...adventure, as we reveal some of the incredible bounty of features headed to Sea of Thieves in 2024.
Sea of Thieves is a pirate sandbox adventure game where players create those stories together. And in the world of Sea of Thieves, there are tools and items that may seem simple on the surface, but when they're in the hands of real players who are playing in their own way and bringing their creativity, it really...
This is taking place for the remainder of the year, right? So this is 2024's other stuff that they're bringing in, but this is not all the stuff they're bringing in.
Really showcases that the sandbox is more than the sum of its parts as it creates these memorable stories.
This year, in 2024, our focus is on giving you more tools, more possibilities, and with that freedom out on the waves, give you the possibilities to have these amazing moments and really changing up the core moment-to-moment gameplay of the sandbox.
All right, Season 12.
The kind of main aims for Season 12 are about mixing up the meta and how players enjoy all of the different aspects of Sea of Thieves. So as part of Season 12, we're going to be adding 2 new weapons and 3 new tools for players to use.
Okay.
An area we haven't really delved into since launch is adding new weapons to the game. New weapons that give you new tactical choices and strategies out there on your adventures. So in Season 12, we're going to be adding the double-barrel pistol and throwing knives.
The double-barrel flintlock is a new type of pistol weapon where you can fire 2 shots individually before you need to reload, or you can charge them together and release them at once for a more powerful shot.
That's interesting, right? So now it's a pistol, but it's also a shotgun. It's like a blunderbuss and a pistol at the same time. You get 2 shots of a pistol, and then you get, if you hold it, it does a blunderbuss shot type of thing.
We wanted to kind of create this new weapon archetype that's a bit shorter range, but a faster fire rate, but perhaps not as powerful or damaging as the flintlock pistol. But then it has those kind of blunderbuss-like qualities as well.
Dude, there's going to be people that are owning people with this gun.
Where you can do the charge shot to release 2 pellets at the same time.
Accompanying that double barrel flintlock with another weapon like the cutlass, for example, for a finishing blow can lead to a fast time to kill for a player
Shots
to be able
and a
to
hit.
quickly take down a target.
Season 12 also brings in the throwing knives as a weapon. Now, these can be used as a melee item. They have a light and a heavy melee action, but they can also be thrown and used at range as well.
You can use it to
I have a question. If I can throw a dagger, can I throw my sword?
kind of like stab players with like a quick attack, but that doesn't do much damage. Or you can charge it to like pull it into this kind of more dangerous stabbing motion, and that'll slow the player's movement down and give this like really high
So it
damage
stuns them.
attack for if you like sneak up behind players. And then finally, it has the ability to kind of flip the knife over, catch it, and then throw it at distance against players, which, again, kind of feels like a trick shot, and it'll do a lot of damage as well.
When you throw a throwing knife, and if you miss, you can actually go in the world and it'll stick into any of the geometry, and you can just pull it out, and then it'll replenish your ammo. So
I can see little games and stuff like this, because Sea of Thieves is like this. Like, if you find a community within the thing, you can have, like, there's dice and random things that you can do. Now, they just showed, like, you throwing the knife into the target. Like, they could have, like, little games, like, if you have a little group together. You know what I mean? Like, little side things. It's not really part of the game, but it is part of the game, because that's what Sea of Thieves is. It's a pirate sandbox game. You do what you want with it. If you want to go find treasure, go find treasure. So I like that they add a couple things like this into the game.
I think personally, for me, this is really good because sometimes I miss, as I'm sure some of us do. So you can then just go ahead and pick it up again.
So you get these wonderful moments where a pirate might throw a knife at you, but then you can retrieve that knife and throw it back to them.
See, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So it'll really mix up the kind of combat scenarios you can expect out in the world and when boarding other ships.
Right.
There are 3 new tools in Season 12, the Wind Caller, the Scatter Shot, and the Bone Caller.
With the scatter shot, the way that it's different to a standard cannonball is it's a collection of 4 cannonballs, but they're
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot they made like smaller holes, medium holes, and like larger holes based on what type of stuff you have. So they have smaller balls now
much smaller.
to do more damage to the boat.
They have a much shorter fall off in range.
Okay. So
And a really wide spread, allowing you to hit a target with multiple projectiles at the same time.
And it does really small amounts.
Oh man. Okay, so if you have a bunch of these things on your boat, you pull up next to another boat, it's 3 balls, right? So if you have 2 cannons on each side, that's 6 shots shooting. Okay? If you hit direct hits at 6 holes on the boat over there, it still takes 1 piece of wood, but it takes real fast for them to to heal it up. But that takes 1 wood a piece, so you're like purging through their wood stock.
Damage to the ship, just like a level 1 size
cool.
hole. So like really quick for players to repair, but it can kind of overwhelm a crew quite quickly.
Basically, if
Yeah.
you get up close with the scatter shot and you can get a few onto your enemy, they're going to have a lot of holes and they're going to have a pretty bad time.
What it will do is
Right, so your boat doesn't fill up fast, right? But there's a lot of holes. And it's easy to fix, but you're burning through your wood supply.
really eat up an opponent's resources.
Yeah.
They need to use more wood to repair the many holes that the scatter shot puts into the hull.
So the Bone Caller is an awesome new throwable that players can wield, and they can throw that on the floor, and when it smashes, all these kind of bones come out, and then skeletons spawn around the player in allegiance to them, and they'll
Oh, that's cool. So now I can... This is good for solo players.
actually fight beside the player against enemy players and enemy AI.
Now you might not be going straight for just a normal cannonball or a chain shot. You might in fact go straight for the bone.
So I said this years ago. I said it'd be cool if you had like players that you could have like skeletons. Then they added the skeleton ships, and I was like, oh, cool. They added that so that down the road they could add something else, and now they have. This is interesting. So now you throw a bomb on the ground, 3 skeletons pop up, and they help you like fight things, so you don't have to worry about. So you can dig up your treasure still or whatnot. That's good. That's
Caller,
interesting.
so you can have some skellies that are on your side on that ship, sort of messing things up for that crew.
You could use fire to fight fire.
That's cool. So now you can do the shots, throw your bomb over there. Then they'll spawn some skeletons on the ship. So now they have to fight the skeletons, which then the boat will be filling up with water. This could get pretty hectic now.
So if somebody shoots a bone caller across the sea at your ship and they spawn in, if you have your own bone caller, you could throw that down on the deck and have your own
Yeah, that's
skellies go
cool.
and fight those to take them out for you so that you don't have to.
I wonder what the limit is. If I have a one of those things, and each one of our crew has it, and you throw them all down, and there's 12 of them on the ship, that'd be pretty interesting.
I mostly play
It'd be pretty OP.
solo, and to be able to spawn literally anything that is friendly to my cause while I'm playing is a massive positive. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, and I'm sure that other players will find ways to make use of it as well.
The Wind Caller is a new horn-shaped shell that players can blow into to summon the power of the winds. So
Bro, what? That's OP as hell.
imagine the scenario that you're heading fully into the wind and you're either chasing someone or you're trying to get away from someone. Now you can use this tool to blow wind into your sails and go even beyond full billow in speed.
Players can also use it to kind of knock players back off their ship or on land, so they can kind of target a player, blow into the Wind Caller, and it will throw them back into.
This looks OP as hell. You can make your ship move faster. You can knock people off.
Yeah.
You can use it as a means of propulsion for yourself in the water, but also for rowing boats. So you can either...
So now you can... Oh, dude, this would make it so easy to... This would make it so easy to get to someone's boat now. So easy. You just jump in the water, toot your horn, and you're like a speedboat in that water now to get to that person's ship.
use it while you're in the water swimming and you'll blast along like a really fast water boatman, or you can stand on a rowing boat and blast it out the back like a speedboat basically.
This changes the entire dynamic of the game, right? This changes the whole dynamic of the game, because now here's the play. Are you ready? You store your stuff on your boat, on your rowboat. Then when you're being chased, you go around an island, you drop it off, okay? You keep sailing off, and then you use this thing to speedboat around so no one can get you. But then again, if the other team has it, they can catch up faster. Oh man, this should be very entertaining to watch.
Basically,
You can put out fires, and you can do it quickly. So you can just essentially walk around your
blow out the
entire
fires?
ship is caught on fire, and just put out all the fires as you walk
So basically, you're Superman. You're Superman. You can blow out fires now.
around.
And they can even use it to like stop their fall damage. Like say you're falling a great distance and you use the wind caller below you, like cushion your fall so you like land safely as well. There is like a finite charge for how long the wind caller can last for, so you have to use it wisely.
Okay. So it has a limited use. It has a limited use. Okay. Because if there was no limited use, and once you find those things, oh my god, that's super OP.
So Season 12 also introduces zip lines onto several of the islands around Sea of Thieves. So you may have seen
Well, did they have zip lines in? We just saw zip lines when we were playing the Monkey Island story.
these as they debuted in the Monkey Island Tall Tales, and they're a really fun and exhilarating way to traverse. So it's really cool to be able to bring those to the wider Sea of Thieves world.
So we've been looking across all the islands of the Sea of Thieves and looking at the most ideal places to kind of mix up the traversal opportunities.
Oh, so they added them to other islands now. Okay,
within all of the islands to add these zip lines across them. So we've added zip lines to like the outpost to get down to your ship quickly. We've added them to the skeleton forts that allow you to kind of zip line between two positions.
So instead of, I would work my way up to the outpost to the top, and then I would launch myself off with the sword, and then you would harpoon yourself basically, or propel yourself into the water. But now they have this. This is fun.
To kind of escape the skeletons or get close to them when they first spawn, or just general kind of zip lines across the islands for like fast traversal and moving chests around the islands quickly.
For example, on Ancient Spire Outpost now, you've got to clunk down some cliffs in order to get to your ship. Now you'll be able to just go and get on the zip line and go flying all the way down to...
I like how they're evolving the islands. I do. I said this way, way long ago. I was like, man, can you imagine them building things on, and they've done that, right? Some of the outposts are now complete cities. It's part of the story, the lore. It's cool.
The jetty next to your ship.
So alongside adding completely brand new tools to the Sea of Thieves sandbox, there's also the opportunity for us to go back and add completely brand new functionality to existing tools.
So another cool new feature that we're adding for Season 12 is the ability to balance on harpoon lines. So you can shoot that harpoon line at another ship or another island.
Oh my god. This is going to be a Twitch/streamer's haven of the stuff and the amount of mischief that you can get into with this game.
And then jump onto it and then like balance across. Depending on the angle in which you fire the harpoon, it'll either be like too steep to climb up it, but if you're on the other end, you can actually jump on the harpoon.
Think about this right now. Me just looking at this, right? Now you harpoon something, your buddy's got loot. Instead of you just harpoon and then you can just slide down real fast and get up, and this is interesting. This is very cool that they're doing this stuff.
Slide down it really quickly back to your ship.
We're really confident this will lead to some really inventive player boarding tactics out there in the sandbox, as well as giving you new ways to traverse the islands.
With all this that we're adding in Season 12, it gives players more opportunities to create those stories as we're really enriching the sandbox of every session.
So we're always really excited to add new tools and mechanics to Sea of Thieves, but we're always mindful that we want to make sure that the game's health is in a really good position as well, that the integrity of Sea of Thieves is there for our players. And since we're adding new weapons into Sea of Thieves, we're very mindful that we want to ensure that the hit registration in our game is as rock solid as it can be. And this is an ongoing thing for us as a development team. We're constantly putting time and effort into this area to try and make it as robust as possible.
In the past, we've borrowed time from feature teams to address issues in the core experience, but it's always taken a
Dude, that had to hurt. The tattoo on his head, that had to hurt.
backseat to the features that those teams are working
That's all over his head. That's
on.
pretty wicked.
In 2024, this is changing. We're securing a dedicated team to focus on the health of the game, bringing fixes and improvements to the things that matter most to our players as soon as they're ready as part of our regular monthly updates. This is going to be a key focus for the team this year.
It's always been an ongoing game, though, Mo. Sea of Thieves has always been an ongoing game.
We want your Sea of Thieves experience to be the best that it can be. Adding new loadout choices as part of upcoming seasons shows our commitment to making encounters between players a more dynamic and fun experience. But crucially, this all has to operate on a stable combat system. We know that there's still plenty of work to do here, but this remains a top priority for our team. March's update delivered Easy Anti-Cheat, an industry-leading anti-cheat solution designed by Epic. This solution evolves over time, keeping up with cheat developers, blocking them at every turn. This is really, though, just the first step at improving the player experience here in Sea of Thieves.
We want to focus this year on making Sea of Thieves play better than ever before, whether that be improving the performance of the game across the variety of hardware it runs on, ensuring that it's a safe place to play with a focus on cheating, but also ensuring that our hit registration is as reliable as possible.
Thanks for funding the new team, PlayStation players. Let's go on, Jones.
In all of your adventures out there in the sandbox.
That's all stuff that's coming in season 12. What season are we in now? Season 11? Or are we in season 12?
So Captain Flameheart has been a staple and important character of Sea of Thieves for many years, appearing in our novels and appearing in our many tall tales and expanded fiction. With Season 13, this brings the return of Captain Flameheart to the Sea of Thieves.
As Flameheart has been resurrected, so has his Burning Blade ship, and it's back in more
Yo, I didn't know that was in the game. I never completed the story. That's in the game?
monstrous and terrifying form than ever before. So we've reimagined it for season 13, and it looks incredible. It almost looks like a living entity itself.
So traditionally, world events have been at set locations throughout the world. The Burning Blade is a little different. The Burning Blade is a ship, and therefore moves around the world.
But the twist is when...
Wait a minute. It's a world event that moves around the world, so it's random where it is. That's pretty cool.
You've defeated the ship, you have the option.
Okay, hold on a second.
Around the world.
But the twist is, when you've defeated the ship, you have the option to board it and pledge yourself and your crew to Flameheart, enter into his service, and become the crew of the Burning Blade.
Wait a minute. There's a raid type event, like the forts that we used to do, or the whatever. And then you get to fight this thing, and if you beat the boat, then you have an option to become part of the crew or deny it. But if you pledge, then you're on the ship?
Essentially becoming a player-created world event yourselves.
Oh, that's awesome. You become the world event. That's dope, dude.
So obviously we have to go in big with this one. At a base, it is larger and more formidable than any ship we've seen on the waves.
This ship has 10 cannons. It has a statue room dedicated to Flameheart at the back. It has a balcony where Flameheart...
I can already see people. Oh my god. We used to do this when the game first came out, right? With the galleon, we would get other crews to come on, and we'd have like 8 to 10 people on the galleon. If you could get other people to join you on this massive ship, and you could just... It's got 10 cannons on there. No one's beating you.
likes to take in the view every morning with his coffee. And most importantly, it's got a massive flamethrower at the front.
Players will be able to pull a lever on their ship and fire 2 massive balls of fire out the front of their ship, which is really interesting because we've never
That's pretty OP because if you get behind a ship, you could just, oh my god, you could destroy them.
We actually had an offensive weapon that's frontal facing before, so I think this is going to create some really interesting dynamic naval combat situations.
So once you take over the Burning Blade, you are on this really powerful warship, and you have a skeleton crew helping you as well. So even smaller crews have every chance of crewing the Burning Blade because the skeletons will come to your aid.
So you could have skeletons repairing while you're on the cannons firing at enemies, which is excellent.
There you go. They've done it. They've taken the skeletons where they can repair the boat. So you as a single player, potentially down the line, they could add it in where you could hire a crew to maintain your boat if you're a solo player, so you don't have to worry about fixing your boat while you're being attacked. I'm not saying they're doing it right now. They're doing it for this particular boat. But I can see them implementing it down the road.
But it's not just about sailing around the world, which of course you can do. It's about completing orders in service of Captain Flameheart. So around the world, there'll be numerous skeleton camps.
You'll notice the Reapers have been conducting excavations on the surface, and they've been dragging up all sorts of ancient artifacts and ancient secrets from below the surface.
Okay.
Underground, there's basically a chamber with a prism that the
They've added undergrounds to the forts.
players can control to draw out constellations on the ceiling in order to help the ritual come to completion and get that knowledge of the ancients.
Each of these temples contains the secrets of the ancients, secrets that Flameheart wants above anything else. And as part of taking control of the ship, you'll be able to sail around the world, visit these ancient temples deep below these skeleton camps, engaging new puzzle gameplay, discover treasures, but what you're really after is the Orb of Secrets.
So they've added another layer of endgame activity for people that are at that point. Something new to go after. And for people, because there's really no end game, right? There's multiple things to do in endgame. The upside down triangle.
New treasure artifact that Flameheart wants. Collecting these secrets will add tribute to the Burning Blade ship.
The more tribute that you collect, the more value will be aboard the Burning Blade. But you will lose the Burning Blade if it sinks or when you choose to go and cash that tribute in to Flame.
So it's a risk reward. That's a cool mechanic too. So not only is it a task to get the boat, but then it's a task to keep the boat. And then you can push that envelope and keep staying on the boat to get all the stuff that you want to get for this new particular reward. And then once you decide you want to turn it in, or you decide, well, you don't decide, but you get sunk, someone else takes it over. That's very interesting. Now, I wonder if the loot that you have, because you're pushing your luck, if you get sunk, someone else takes it over. Does it reset? Like, how does that work? Or do they take control of the boat at that point? And do they get your loot? Interesting.
So it's really up to you how long you think you can hold on to it with that risk reward, because everybody in the world is going to be coming for you. They're going to know you're in there and know you've got high value. So it really becomes this dynamic player created world event with players versus players in the sandbox.
So even though you can visit these skeleton camps while in control of the Burning Blade, it's not only tightly wedded to that new gameplay. Players can also visit them anytime in their adventures. So should players visit these skeleton camps when they're not the crew of the Burning Blade, the skeletons won't be too happy that you found a way inside these.
This is even better. So now if you have the Burning Blade, you go to those islands, you just walk in because you have the Burning Blade. You have the key, basically. So you can go to these things, and you're not being there's no friction against you. You can just walk in, do the thing. But if you're not part of the Burning Blade, you can go to these islands, and then you have to fight your way to the bottom of the. Interesting.
Camps, and you'll be engaging in a combat-focused encounter to discover its secrets.
What's really exciting about Season 13 is the interplay of the features and the way that they'll bring players together and combine to create new stories. And whether you're the crew of the Burning Blade who wants to protect it,
How big that boat is.
or everyone else who wants to take it down and steal that value, everything in Season 13 will bring you together.
That seems pretty cool, Season 13. I probably will never ever play that. I would have to get in with a group that like knows what they're doing just so I could see that type of stuff.
So towards the end of the year, we have Season 14, and while it's very early for us to talk about, we wanted to share some of our thinking here because it is totally aligned with this vision for what 2024 can be, this laser focus on the sandbox and mechanics that add to the variety of stories you can encounter in Sea of Thieves.
Internally, we're referring to Season 14 as Pirates of Mischief. Sea of Thieves has always had this playful, mischievous...
Wait a minute. So the stuff that we've already saw about the you know, with the horn and the grapple hooks, and that wasn't mischief type stuff?
and funny sense of humour. And with Season 14, we're expanding on that. The two main areas that we're exploring are new ways to stealth and new ways to cause mischief in the world.
So I think a real aspect of the Sea of Thieves experience that we haven't dived too deep into previously is the idea of being a stealthy pirate.
So when you think about stealth in Sea of Thieves and enhancing that, imagine being able to crouch and move around the world silently, or the ability to hang off the side of an enemy's ship.
Oh my God, there's going to be... The Twitch channels and stuff are going to explode for these content creators. It's like the best thing ever for them.
When we were having these initial conversations about Season 14, the first thing I thought of was the cardboard boxes in Metal Gear Solid. Could we allow players to climb into chests, and if they choose, they can actually scuttle around with their little legs out the bottom? And also, if they choose to, you know, keep the ruse up, could other players come along and pick them up like a normal loot chest or treasure chest or whatever, and take it onto their ship?
Do you know how everyone's going to be so paranoid at Season 14 because you see a chest? Like, okay, this is how my brain works. Okay, your crew has a chest. Okay, you get in that chest. They decide to bury you. I don't know if you can do this. That's the way my brain works, right? So you get in a chest, they bury you, right? Someone comes along and picks up that chest, and then they they put you on the boat. Or while a boat is on island, you sneak into a chest. Like, you bring a chest, you drop it on board, you get in the chest, and then you play the long game, right? Now you just play the long game. Right, you become a mimic.
Yeah. So another cool thing that we've been working on is the blow dart, which is another new weapon that players can wield from the armory and use that to kind of sneak aboard enemy ships and fire kind of these custom darts into players.
I'm sorry, did he say a blow dart? Did he say blow dart?
New weapon that players can wield from the armory and use that to kind of sneak aboard enemy ships and fire kind of these custom darts into players that will do different effects.
So imagine a blow dart that tracks whatever it sticks to, whether that's a ship, a chest, an item, a player.
What? So you could get a blow dart for a tracking now so you know where they are? Dude. So now you could just be a ship. You could be on an island, a boat comes up, you shoot a blow dart at them, okay? You put it somewhere on the ship where they can't reach it, and then it goes out, and then you can track them. So then you know where they are on the map.
Player.
Ones that could potentially like lure skeletons to like a specific position, so you can throw a firebomb in there, or, you know, explode a gunpowder keg, or darts that can trigger specific sound effects, which is quite evil and cunning, where you could board an enemy ship and shoot the capstan and it sounds like it's dropping. Or
that's cool what he just said. So you mess with people, right? You mess with people. You can shoot a blow dart that sounds like the capstan is going down, and they freak out. Man.
Shoot the ladders and it sounds like someone's climbing up them.
And then thinking about some of the ways that we want to add more mischief to the world, one of these is the idea of traps.
So much like
I can just see a content creator now sneaking and like hiding, shooting blow darts to make the sound of a person just on the boat by themselves. Oh yeah, this is content gold for these content creators out there.
Like the kind of blunderbombs or firebombs, we've been thinking about them being this kind of throwable trap that players can kind of throw into the world.
Right, Dolphin? Right? You shoot a dart on the chest, right? So you know where it is?
Think of it like a spring trap that players can place on the islands to trap skeletons on a bounty or on a fort, or they could place
I'm sorry, what did he just say? A trap?
Ways that we want to add more mischief to the world. One of these is the idea of traps.
So much like the kind of blunderbombs or firebombs, we've been thinking about them being this kind of throwable trap that players can kind of throw into the world. Think of it like a spring trap that players can place on the islands to trap skeletons on a bounty or on a fort, or they could place it at the top of their ladders to prevent players from boarding their ships and get caught in this trap.
Along with the
Bro. Yeah, because you're making the problem. Now you gotta sell, not sell the solution, but you gotta make a solution. Right? So if people can get on your ship because they're being mischievous and sneaky, now you gotta make these traps on your boat. So I wonder if you could trap yourself though.
These were also bringing a really exciting new tool, and it's the grapple gun, which
Grapple gun. This is OP. I can tell you right now, this is OP. The grapple right now, if I shoot it, it pulls me in. So that means I can grab treasure from people that are running with treasure. That means I can get on people's boats much easier now.
is a dual-purpose rifle. So it allows you to traverse.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the monetization that it comes in, because the Emporium and stuff. They've added knives. They've added the new weapon, right? They've added the grapple hook. They've added, what else? These are all things that you can add skins to, right? So there's a lot more things that you can use to buy from the Pirate Emporium.
The environment much quicker, because you're able to grapple yourself up to a lead.
Yeah, they just had the pistol and the blunderbuss. That's all they had. We've had 3 weapons the entire time in 6-7 years. We had the sword, the pistol, and the blunderbuss.
For example, but you can also harpoon items and other players in.
So some of the new cool uses we've seen from the grapple gun in our early playtests are, you know, players firing themselves out of the cannon towards another ship to try and board them, and perhaps overcooking it and then using the grapple gun to fire it at.
That's my point right there. This is OP. That's OP, because you can shoot yourself over, and this happens all the time. You overshoot something, or even if you fall in the water, you can just boom and shoot it, and then get on board.
The deck and propel themselves down onto it, or jumping off their ship to like an oncoming ship, and then using the grapple gun to kind of
There you go.
grapple up and onto their ship so that they can board them and drop
This is huge. This is huge.
their anchor or have a fight with them.
To make sure that the grapple gun is balanced, it does have ammunition. You'll have arrowheads, and these essentially break.
I would assume that the arrowheads you can just at a chest and just, fill up your ammo.
Off when you successfully use the grapple gun, meaning you can't continuously keep grappling. There is a skill.
So you can
to
only
using
grapple
the
a
gun
couple times before
successfully,
you have to reload.
and accurately, and efficiently.
So when we think about 2024, we really think
That's
about
huge.
getting to the very heart of what makes Sea of Thieves great. That is your stories, powered by that design philosophy of tools, not rules. Season 12, 13 and 14 are fully exploring that, giving you new options, new tools, and fundamentally new possibilities that make this game unique and special.
I think when you look at the year ahead for Sea of Thieves, our plans for Season 12, Season 13 and Season 14, it's kind of making this shift away from these big kind of systemic changes to Sea of Thieves and returning back to the core of what makes Sea of Thieves so special, the heart of Sea of Thieves, about giving players new tools to create new stories out there in the world.
We're ultimately shaking up the meta, giving players new tools to learn and master. And I can't wait to see what combinations players start settling on before we shake it back up again.
While everything that you're seeing today is still work in progress and possibly subject to change in some ways, we will be giving more insights onto how these things are developing as we come closer to launch for each of them.
With the richness of all these new seasons, and of course PlayStation Pirates joining us as well, it is such an exciting year for Sea of Thieves in 2024.
That's a lot of stuff, man.
Thank you for joining us for the Sea of Thieves 2024 preview event. We hope you've enjoyed this sneak peek at what's coming throughout the rest of the year. There's still a lot more to reveal for these seasons, so keep an eye on the horizon, as we'll have more to share closer to each season's launch. For more information...
Right, so that's not even including the stuff that they're bringing in, if it's like story content or type of stuff like that. They're just showing you what they're bringing to the game as far as fundamental stuff goes.
And to
for
keep
the
up
game.
to date with what's new in Sea of Thieves, check out our social channels. So until our paths cross again, happy sailing and we'll see you on the seas.
That's a lot of stuff. That is a lot of stuff that they added there. The new flint, I don't know what you call it, the double barrel pistol or like shotgun, whatever it is, where you can do 1 shot, 2 shots, or hold it and make a both at the same time. That's a cool thing, right? That's cool. Then they have the harpoon gun, which is interesting. That's going to be a whole dynamic type of stuff. That ship though, Flameheart's ship, that's pretty cool. Where it's a world event going around, and if you take it over, then you can become the world event, and then you're going around the board as the boss, as the battle. That's pretty cool. And if you can get a really cool crew on there, man, that's gonna be interesting. I think you're gonna see a lot of stuff blow up on the social media and also on like Twitch and YouTube for a lot of videos. And then on top of that, you got all the PlayStation players coming in. It looks like a good year. Good year for Rare with Sea of Thieves. It doesn't even the playing field at all, because a lot of the new people that are coming in are still not going to understand how to like sail and whatnot. But the people that come in, there's new weapons. So the people that have been playing the game are going to be using the new weapons and getting used to it, while the new players are just getting used to it. Right? So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, Argus, it's 38 minutes. I mean, we started right when the stream started. There's a lot there. There's a shit ton of stuff that's coming to Sea of Thieves. Ron says, PlayStation 5 Game of the Year, Sea of Thieves? Maybe. The grapple looks OP. The horn. You know those times, we always have them. You're on the ship, the wind's going directly into you, and you're like, oh my god, it takes forever. That horn, now you can just toot it, and boom, you're flying through. But I wonder if there's a meter that you have, or the amount of uses that you have, sort of like the bullets in your gun. It'll be interesting to see what they do for the horn. I'm really interested in how the smaller cannonballs, where they make more holes. Because if you have good aim, you get up right next to them, you go boom, boom, and you shoot them a couple times, they're going to have 3, 6, 9. They're going to have a lot of holes in them based on what ship you're on. Okay? So you're going to eat through that wood that people are trying to heal themselves. Now, I thought it was interesting when they said that the skeletons help you on that ship. I wonder if you throw if you throw something down on your ship, if they help you repair as well. They didn't say it did. They just said they help you fight, which is pretty interesting. But solo players down the road, if they're going to implement this, I think solo players, this would be a huge help for solo players. But then they have to balance it, right? Because if I can be on a crew with one person, right, just solo, and I use that where I summon the skeletons and they can like repair stuff for me, it'd be really hard to sink a ship. Really hard to sink a ship. I wonder if they would implement something where you hire a crew and they would have really weak health or something. I don't know what they would do. But you can see that they're starting to play with it a little bit. So that's Sea of Thieves. Lots of stuff for Sea of Thieves. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff for it. Oh, at the very end, they showed an owl as well. So there's like a new animal that you can get. You know, more cosmetic stuff.